All right, so first of all, we want to understand what's going on in the bigger picture, right? So that's why we have to do higher time frame analysis, right? So let's start with the daily. All right. And you can clearly see that US30 has been in a higher time frame downtrend. And you always want to go with the higher time frame most of the time because that's like the highest probability of you winning a trade. Or at least if you're on the higher time frame, you'll catch a much bigger move, right? So let me just remove this from that time frame so that it's a bit more clear. All right. Right. So you can see we're still been in a downtrend for the last few weeks. And we're anticipating that it's going to continue the downtrend, right? Because it hasn't shown any sign of a reversal. In order for this long-term trend to reverse, we would need to break the daily high, right? So until this high is broken, we consider US30 to be in a longer-term downtrend. So we look at the last impulse down, and everything under this level is considered a pullback until it breaks above, right? So this whole area is, you can look for shorts. It would be, in your favor to take shots, right? Just go down to the 4 hour. Right. So on the 4 hour time frame, we have this impulse down. We have this low taken right here. And then we have this, well, this is more of a 4 hour change of character, right? So we have the 4 hour basically changing character. But what tends to happen is when you have the higher time frame in control, you may have the lower time frame pulling back, changing character or whatever. But eventually it would realign with the higher time frame to continue down, right? So this could be daily, continuing down, the 4 hour breaking structure. And then once it realigns, then we could expect it to go down very quickly, right? Drop a one in the chat if you're following so far. Okay, great. All right. So on the 4 hour time frame, we had this little uptrend right here, right? And we would consider the 4 hour to be in a downtrend once this low is taken, right? So for now, we still in an uptrend, making high highs. All of this is just a pullback because this is the last impulse up, right? So for all we know, the market could pull back from here and continue up based on the 4 hour analysis until it realigns with the daily to continue down. All right. So it's still early in the week. If US30 breaks this low right here, then we could obviously expect it to continue to break the daily low, right? Because once it takes the 4 hour low, this would be the 4 hour low right here, right? And this would be the 4 hour high. Right? So once the 4 hour low is taken out, then we can expect the daily low to be taken out because obviously the market has continued to make lower lows, lower highs, right? If it's in a downtrend, which we know is in a higher time frame downtrend at the moment, right? So we have what we call the external structure, which would be this impulse. And all of this is the internal structure right? Which is the pullback until this low is broken, right? If this low is not broken, then this is the internal structure of that impulse. So right now we have, you know, two options, right? Basically, we could either get a reversal here. Let's say the 4-hour doesn't break the low, we get a reversal here and we continue up. Or it consolidates, creates a new supply zone, right? Breaks the low, and then we come in to sell to continue down, right? Right. So this would be, I believe this would be the 4-hour zone. Okay. So this right here would be the 4-hour, right? This right here would be demand, the origin of this impulse. So we could expect some kind of reaction here, right? So let's highlight this area. And if we see, you know, break a structure on a lower time frame, we could probably execute, right? Take the risk. We're on a 15-minute, we're on a 15-minute. Right. So what time is it? 11 o'clock. So we have between 11, which is right now, and 12 to hopefully find a trade, right? It's a very small window, but typically we find trades within that window, right? All right, so just drop a one in the chat if you're following so far. One second, let me just grab my phone. All right. Okay, so we know that this is 15-minute zone. This is the nested zone within the 4-hour zone. We could probably right. So we're in a matrix right now, right? We're in a zone within the zone, within the zone, right? So we know we have the 4-hour, 15, 4-hour demand, 15-minute demand. Doesn't mean it's gonna hold, but what we do right here, we just wait for a 1-minute breaker structure, right? And we could buy, because basically if you analyze it on the 4-hour time frame, you have a 4-hour zone, you execute on a 15-minute breaker structure. If you have a 15-minute zone, which is this gray zone that was tapped, then you can execute on a 1-minute breaker structure, right? And if you have a 1-minute zone, then you can execute on like a 5-second breaker structure, right? So what we're gonna do, we'll wait for this area to get broken, right? Once it's broken, then we buy at the zone responsible, which most likely is going to be this one. Or we buy here, and then if it goes back, we buy again to continue up, right? All right, so just drop a one in the chat if you're following so far. So let's wait and see. In the meantime, probably do your calculations for you know, what lot size you want to use, right? The range is about $71 risk, 74 points. That means that if you use 10 lots, you would be risking $700 on myforexfunds or true Forex funds. If you use 10 lots, you'll be risking 700 max, right? But we're not going to execute unless we have this high broken, and then we could go ahead and take the risk and execute, right? Because the market could go either way. But yeah, so obviously when you're trading, you want to always problem solve, right? So what I've realized is a lot of the trades that we take, we might have a few losers here and there, but when the winners come, they tend to run really, really far, right? So a good strategy to use to manage your trades and manage your risk that I've realized is with US30, only if you're executing on the lower time frame, right? You're not risking much. It could be a good idea to close half at 1-to-1, right? Because when you close half at 1-to-1, let's say you enter here and you close half at 1-to-1, that is no risk on the table, right? And the market, there's a very high chance of the market reaching 1-to-1 most of the times. It would reach 1-to-1 and then come back to your entry, maybe hit your stop or just play around and move in the direction, right? But there's a high rate of 1-to-1s, right? So if you close half your trade at 1-to-1, you would have removed half of the trade, right? That way you break even. If it comes down and hit your stop loss, you break even, right? If you move your stops into profit, then you would have secured some profit, right? So that is like turning your losing trades into break-even trades, right? So instead of having a losing trade, you have a break-even trade, or you have a small profit trade, right? That's minimizing your losses. Because eventually, when you do have a winner, we know that for the trades that I send, the winners tend to be 1-to-5, sometimes 1-to-10, or sometimes 1-to-20 or more, right? So in the meantime, you know, you just take the small hits because a winner is a winner. The winner runs. So usually the winners is gonna make up in the long run, right? So it's just something to consider when you're trading, right? It's something that I've seen makes a difference, but that's only if you're trading on like the lower time frame. It wouldn't make sense if you're catching trades that is like if the typical trade is 1-to-3 and 1-to-2, then it wouldn't make sense, right? Because when you close half and the trade runs 1-to-2, it's really 1-to-1 because you closed half, right? And if you close half and the trade runs 1-to-4, it's really 1-to-2, right? Because half the trade is closed. So it's only for like If your trading style is a very high rewarding trading style, then that makes sense. If we're waiting on a trade, right? Someone said no signals for 11 a.m. session, we're just doing analysis. We're doing analysis, another opportunity presents itself, we'll take it, right? But after such like big moves in the market, whenever there's like a huge move like that, because we saw the market been falling all day, typically the market is just going to consolidate and it might not provide another opportunity for a few hours. So that's why I'm not 100% that we're going to execute at 11, because 11 you want the market to be, you know, trading smoothly, then you execute, then the volume comes in. But we already had massive volume for the day already, right? Like if you look, it's already, you know, consolidating, struggling to break this high, right? And you want to enter trades that run straight into profit. You don't want to just sit around in the trade, right? All right, so I recommend risking 0.5%, 0.5%, or 0.25%, right? All right, so we have this one right here. Hasn't accomplished anything yet, right? If it takes this high out, then it would have accomplished something for us to go long. All right, so what I would do is enter something small right here. And then as the market comes down, I'll enter more trades, right? We should probably wait for the 1 minute to close above, right? I'm gonna go ahead and probably enter 1/4%. in the meantime, right? And then 0.5%, right? So I bought, I used 20 lots total, right? I got the entry right at the entry point. So let's see if it runs in our direction. If you want to keep your risk low, you can keep your risk low because it is counter trend. We're at 15-minute demand, 4-hour demand with 1-minute confirmation. All right. Yes, I'm in the trade. I've been in the trade. I specifically said I'm buying, so I'm already in the trade. I bought them here. Drop a one in the chat if you got in the trade at the entry point. Okay. Cool. Let me grab my laptop charger. All right. In the meantime, we can enjoy the view. All right. Fibonacci settings. Just take a screenshot of it. Saw someone asking. This is a Fibonacci setting, so just take a screenshot of it. Just added a second position. It stops us out. We're gonna hop off and then hop back on at 2, right? Now let's add in positions. The trade is valid until the stop loss gets hit, right? So unless the stop loss gets hit, then I'll exit the trade. Should we? Yeah. I mean, there isn't really. It is valid, you know. Sometimes US30 doesn't like to pull back, so sometimes you just have to get in. Hopefully it runs. Once we have this high broken right here, then we could feel more confident, right? For for those of you hopping on late, you missed the analysis and the explanations and stuff, but those are recorded, so I'll probably drop it on YouTube for you to study. The Zoom maxes out at 100. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the only person in the free chat sending trades. There's Rusty and there's Vic. You should know what if the chat is dark, is someone else sending a signal. That's Rusty. He usually sends swing trades. I would send scalps, right? So once you see my chart, and this is it, right? This is what my chart looks like. The gray and black candles, and it's this mine. So you could just look at the name. It says the name at the bottom. Sure. I do send signals. I send signals. I sent one signal yesterday, right? And I sent one signal in the public in the public chat yesterday. And I sent one signal in the private chat yesterday. And then I sent one signal in the private chat today. So I do send signals. I just take a screenshot of my entry and my stop loss whenever I'm entering a trade, and I will just send it in the chat. If you experience enough, you could look at the chat and know where to put your stop loss to jump in the trade. But if you look through the chat history, you'll see that last week we sent buy limits. That was good, A lot of the signals would be at buy limits. So you would get the signal in advance. You would get the signal minutes or hours in advance, the price we're going to enter at, and you just set the buy limit and the stop loss, and you just leave it. Let's see, what time is it? Usually by 11:30, the trade should have been in good profit by now. No, the reason why it's moving so slow and it's consolidating is because all of the volume already took place, right? So this is all the sellers selling, right? And this is the buyers absorbing the sellers and trying to take control, right? But once the buyers take control, then it should move up. Or if they don't, then it would move down and hit our stop loss. Okay, if you just heard that, is my MetaTrader 4 closing the trade at 1-to-1, right? Because I have the settings on Trade Assist, so that as soon as the trade gets to 1-to-1, the MetaTrader 4 just closes it by itself. Once this trade runs back into profit, you can take a screenshot and drop your profits in the chat so I could see an entry, right? I'll open back up the comment section in the chat, right? And you know, if you post it on Instagram and tag me, more people are going to join the free Telegram. And the more people join, the more free sessions I do, because every time we get new people, I do more free sessions, right? So you help me and basically I help you. Once we have this candlestick close above, it's going to be easier for the market to flow up, right? And the next turbulence meaning the next area it could potentially reject off of would be this zone, right? So we just need a candlestick to close above this level right here. And once the candlestick closes above that level, it should be easy for the market to continue up, right? I mean, do I look for re-entries? Once the market provides opportunities to re-enter, I would, but it has to accomplish something, right? So let's say we have a zone created here, and this zone pops up. It takes this high out, and the market retraces back to the zone. Then I would enter another trade, right? And so on and so forth. You don't just want to re-enter, add positions without a reason to. Whenever you add a position, it's like you found a new trade, you found the next trade, and you have a reason why you added the position, you know, so that is a valuable, you know, high probability idea. Are we supposed to take all the signals, even those from STO or the send signals? Because I was under the impression you get their signals. Yeah, you get my signals. You don't have to take all the signals. You shouldn't take all the signals. You should take whatever signal you feel confident in. When you get a signal, do your own analysis. And if you feel like you want to take it, you could go ahead and take it. That's what my chat looks like. The reason why I have some other people sending signals in the chat is because I've seen the results and they have an edge, you know, and they're profitable. So he executes over a long period of time. As long as you're managing your risk, then you will be profitable too. Yeah, of course. It should. It should. The setting you have on Trade Assist to close the trade at 1-to-1. Can you show us how you set it up? Okay. Right. So we have Trade Assist here. We go to settings, right? TP impacts, TP1. This is 50%. There's the reward 1. So this is gonna close 50% at 1-to-1, right? If you wanna move your stops to break even, you move your stops to break even at 1-to-1, right? You click apply, and as soon as the market gets to 1-to-1, it will move your stops to break even, right? So if you want that setting, you can move your stops to break even and close your trade at 1-to-1. Give it a second, right? But I'm not gonna move my stops to break even. Someone just asked that question, so. Yeah, I mean, usually the trades just pop off, but we already had a lot of volume for the day, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hop off this session, and I'll just update you in the chat what happened, right? I'm keeping my stop loss where it's at, and just like I explained before, I would say in the beginning I was advising that you take half your profits at 1-to-1 on US30 if it's a tight stop, scalping, because US30 runs, and if you have a winner, it's gonna compensate. But just like how I executed this trade and the market is moving slow, half the trade was already closed at 1-to-1, right? So let's say this trade was a loser and it decided to lose and it went down, I hit my stop loss. I would only lose the profits that I closed half on. So let's say I was $100 in profit, I closed off $50 secure. So that means we have $50 risk in. If the market is a stop loss, that's $50, so it's break even, basically. What was that? Well, because I opened up like 4 positions, I guess some of the positions was right? But so far so good, you know. Let's hop off, and if it's a great trade, then it's a great trade. If it's not, then we hop back on it too, right? Have a good day, guys. You know where to find me. Trade safe, don't give back your profits.